Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we will cover prelims question asked in UPSC on environmental organizations and summit. First question asked in 2019. Consider the following statements. Under Ramsar Convention, it is mandatory on the part of the Government of India to protect and conserve all the wetlands in the territory of India. The Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2010 were framed by the Government of India based on the recommendations of the Ramsar Convention. The Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2010 also encompass the drainage area or catchment regions of the wetland as determined by the authority. Which of the statements given above are correct? Under Ramsar Convention, it is not mandatory or obligatory on any government. They do it voluntary. Those countries who sign Ramsar Convention, they protect their wetlands, they form rules for that. So this is not correct. The wetland rules are not based on the recommendations of the Ramsar Convention. So this statement is also not correct. Statement third is correct. So answer will be 3 only. Ramsar Convention has been asked more than twice. So you must read about this in detail. Momentum for Change Climate Neutral Now is an initiative launched by asked in 2018. Options are Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change IPCC, the UNEP Secretariat, United Nations Environment Programme, UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and D, the World Meteorological Organization. Answer is C, UNFCCC Secretariat. Next, with reference to the Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture, GAIA, which of the following statement are correct? Asked in 2018. GAIA is an outcome of the Climate Summit held in Paris in 2015. Membership of GAIA does not create any binding obligations. India was instrumental in the creation of GAIA. Now this question was difficult when it was asked in 2018 because out of nowhere it was asked. The concept of climate smart agriculture originally came from Food and Agricultural Organization of United Nations FAO, and it was presented at the Hague Conference on Agriculture, Food Security and Climate Change in 2010. So statement 1 is not correct. It does not create any binding obligations. It is a voluntary, action-oriented, multi-stakeholder platform on climate smart agriculture. And India was not instrumental in the creation of GAIA but a signatory of it. So the answer will be 2 only. Next question asked in 2014. With reference to Global Environment Facility, which of the following statements are correct? It serves as a financial mechanism for Convention on Biological Diversity and United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It undertakes scientific research on environmental issues at the global level. It is an agency under OECD to facilitate the transfer of technology and funds to underdeveloped countries with a specific aim to protect their environment. This statement is not correct. OECD is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, an international organization of 38 countries committed to democracy and market economy, not related to environment. It does not take any direct scientific research, so this is also not true. So we are left with statement 1. It serves as a financial mechanism on Convention on Biological Diversity and United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Global Environment Facility was established on the eve of Rio Earth Summit in 1992. It is a private equity fund focused on seeking long-term financial returns by investments in clean energy under climate change. And it is a program under World Bank. So World Bank facilitates the funding and all, not OECD. Next question. With reference to a conservation organization called Wetlands International, which of the following statements are correct? It is an intergovernmental organization formed by the countries which are signatories to the Ramsar Convention. 2. It works at the field level to develop and mobilize knowledge and use the practical experience to advocate for better policies. Now you see that Ramsar Convention has not been asked directly here, but if you solve previous year questions and then you read in detail about the options also, then this question is easy for you. Else it is a confusing question because although both work for wetlands, these are two different organizations. Wetlands International came in 1951 while Ramsar Convention was signed in 1971. So this statement is not correct. Wetlands International is a global not-for-profit organization dedicated to the conservation and restoration of wetlands. So it works at the field level to develop and mobilize knowledge and use the practical experience to advocate for better policies. So statement 2 is correct. Answer will be 2 only. Next, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is an international treaty drawn at asked in 2010. United Nations Conference on the Human Environment Stockholm 1972. UN Conference on Environment and Development Rio de Janeiro 1992. World Summit on Sustainable Development Johannesburg 2002. UN Climate Change Conference Copenhagen 2009. So UNFCCC was drawn in 1992 Earth Summit. So Earth Summit is very important. Next, consider the following statements regarding Earth Hour, asked in 2014. It is an initiative of UNEP and UNESCO, United Nations Environment Programme and UNESCO. It is a movement in which the participants switch off the lights for 1 hour on a certain day every year. It is a movement to raise awareness about climate change and the need to save the planet. This is correct, but it is not an initiative of UNEP and UNESCO, but organized by Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF. It started as a Lights Out event in Sydney, Australia in 2007. It is held every year on the last Saturday of March. The idea is to refrain from the use of non-essential lighting to save energy in a symbolic call for environmental protection, and it encourages people to switch off the lights from 8:30 pm to 9:30 pm as per their local time. So statement 3rd is correct. Answer will be 2 and 3 only. Next, with reference to Forest Carbon Partnership Facility, which of the following statements are correct? Asked in 2015. It is a global partnership of governments, businesses, civil society and indigenous people. It provides financial aid to universities, individual scientists and institutions involved in scientific forestry research to develop eco-friendly and climate adaptation technologies for sustainable forest management. Third, it assists the countries in their REDD+, reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation efforts by providing them with financial and technical assistance. It does not provide financial aid to universities, but it is a partnership of governments, business, civil society and indigenous people. So this is correct. And it assists the countries in their REDD+ efforts. So answer will be 1 and 3. It came into force in June 2008. Focused on reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, forest carbon stock, conservation of the sustainable management of forest and forest carbon stocks in developing countries. Next, with reference to an organization known as BirdLife International, which of the following statements are correct? It is a global partnership of conservation organizations. The concept of biodiversity hotspots originated from this organization. It identifies the sites referred to as important bird and biodiversity areas. Statement 3rd is correct. 2nd is not correct because the concept of biodiversity was developed by Norman Myers in 1988. BirdLife International is a global partnership of conservation organizations. Therefore, statement 1 is correct. Answer will be 1 and 3 only. Next, with reference to the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, IUCN, and the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, which of the following statements are correct? Asked in 2015. IUCN is an organ of the United Nations and CITES is an international agreement between governments. IUCN runs thousands of field projects around the world to better manage natural environments. CITES is legally binding on the states that have joined it, but this convention does not take the place of national laws. Correct answer is 2 and 3 only. It is not an organ of the United Nations, IUCN. It is a network of environmental organizations founded as the International Union for the Protection of Nature in 1948. Later on, the name was changed to International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. It is composed of both government and civil society organizations, and its headquarters is in Gland, Switzerland. IUCN maintains the red list of threatened species, and it was established in 1964, and it played an important role in the creation of key international conventions such as Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, World Heritage Convention, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, Convention on Biological Diversity, UNFCCC, etc. CITES is an international agreement adopted in 1973 to regulate worldwide commercial trade in wild animal and plant species. So it is legally binding, but it does not replace the national laws. So statement 3 is correct. Next, what is Rio Plus 20 conference, often mentioned in the news, asked in 2015? It is the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. It is a ministerial meeting of the World Trade Organization. It is a conference of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It is a conference of the member countries of the Convention on Biological Diversities. Answer is, it is the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. The Earth Summit, which held in 1992 in Rio, also known as the Rio Summit, plus 20 means after 20 years. It refers to the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development that took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in June 2012. Next, with reference to Global Climate Change Alliance, which of the following statements are correct? It is an initiative of the European Union. It provides technical and financial support to targeted developing countries to integrate climate change into their development budgets. It is coordinated by World Resource Institute and World Business Council for Sustainable Development. The Global Climate Change Alliance was established in 2007 by the European Union, so this is correct, to strengthen dialogue and cooperation with developing countries, in particular least developed countries and small island developing countries. It also provides technical and financial support, so this is also correct. But there is no mention of World Resource Institute or World Business Council for Sustainable Development. So statement third is not correct. Answer will be 1 and 2 only. But if it is mentioned in a question, you must read about World Resource Institute and World Business Council for Sustainable Development. World Resource Institute is a global non-profit organization established in 1982. It focuses on food, forests, water, energy, cities, climate and ocean. World Business Council for Sustainable Development is a CEO-led organization with over 200 international companies connected to number of national and regional businesses. Headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, established in 1995. Next question. With reference to the role of UN Habitat in the United Nations program working towards a better urban future, which of the following statements are correct? Asked in 2017. UN Habitat has been mandated by the United Nations General Assembly to promote socially and environmentally sustainable towns and cities to provide adequate shelter for all. True. Its partners are either government or local urban authorities only. UN Habitat contributes to the overall objective of the United Nations system to reduce poverty and to promote access to safe drinking water and basic sanitation. Select the correct answers from the code given below. Statement 1 is correct. In the second statement, it is mentioned only. It cannot be that only governments or local authorities will be its partner. So this is not correct. UN Habitat collaborates with governments, intergovernmental organizations, UN agencies, civil society organizations, foundations, academic institutions, etc. Established in 1978. Contributes to the overall objective, yes. So answer will be 1 and 3 only. So these were some important questions asked on environmental organizations and summit. If you want to solve all questions that were asked from 1979 to 2021 on all subjects, I have made a compilation. Link will be in the description. These questions are not only repeated in UPSC IAS Prelims but also in state exams and other exams taken by UPSC such as CDS, CAPF, NDA. So you must practice these questions. For more such videos, subscribe to my channel and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.